Welcome everyone, Marcelo is my name. I do love fragrances that take me on a journey, where they begin, how they end. I love this different transition that occurs. Essentially what I love is the storytelling, the way that they are able to elaborate this concept via an olfactory form. Nobody does it better than zoologists. They're able to capture these portraits of these animals. Not only what the perceived smell of this particular creature would be, but also its habitat. Cow, T-Rex, hummingbird. And then there is the perfumer Luca Maffei, who is able to, through his perfumes, communicate a storyline. I've got a number of his fragrances where they literally tell a story of what that fragrance is about. Here, Luca Maffei and zoologists have partnered together to create this wonderful, whimsical, pastoral landscape with harvest mouse. In 2014, zoologists appeared on the market in a very novel way. Beaver, panda, and rhinoceros, depicting these animals and, more importantly, depicting this portrait of who they were. Not only just the creature, but as I mentioned, its actual habitat. Up until now, most of the fragrances are very much aligned to a single creature. Here it is. Whereas with Harvest Mouse, it's now giving you a landscape. It's instantly saying to you, this is more than just a mouse. This is a mouse in this autumnal sort of setting, and on first spray, you are transported to this pastoral landscape. I get a visual of a Van Gogh painting. Soft hues, these caramel colors, this caramel light, these soft florals, wheat or like a hay-like quality. I found that the fragrance is instantly ensnaring and captures your attention from that first spray as it then begins to dry down until the very end of the dry down. You know, the whole way through, it takes you on this and I mentioned the word whimsical, and I know it sounds a little bit, fairy dust-like, but there is a whimsical nature to the fragrance. It does have this very soft breeze running through, actually like seeing wheat moving, with the actual wind itself. It's a beautiful film called Days of Heaven about the US Midwest and wheat fields. And this is what I get. Beautiful golden light, this wheat moving around, this soft earthiness to it. One of the magic notes in this fragrance is a beer CO2 extraction. Just think about that. To extract this note from a frothy beer. And I'm not talking about just run-of-the-mill beer. I'm talking about a microbrewery, something quite unique. I had an opportunity to travel to AFM, Atelier Fragranze Milano, and meet with Luca Maffei. I was like a kid in a candy shop as I was able to listen to the way he creates and the things that he is able to do. And he did tell me about Harvest Mouse, and he was super proud of the CO2 extraction. This for him was also the magic ingredient in the fragrance, that it provided this beautiful malt, yeast-like hop quality to the fragrances, but aromatic, fragrant nature. The magic ingredient for me is chamomile. My mother-in-law is an old school Calabrian woman, and I love that she does everything on the natural. She grows her own chamomile. And the scent profile that this has, with a mixture of this floral, this sweet caramel, this hay-like quality, and the flavor that this produces is what I get from here. On that opening, I do get these herbal, earthy, hay, caramel sensation to the fragrance. And when I first experienced it, made me think of this beautiful chamomile that my mother-in-law grows. Like the storytelling of the Harvest Mouse, I love the way this fragrance moves and evolves. There's a time in the day called golden hour. And essentially it's when the dusk, as the sun's beginning to lower, that's the best time to take photos. Everything is bathed in this orange, honey, caramel, golden hue. Even a brick wall, take a photo of a brick wall over golden hour and that will look amazing. But now picture yourself in this wheat field and this golden light everywhere. On first opening, you get these beautiful caramel, herbal-like qualities. And for me, it is definitely this scent profile from this natural chamomile here, a mixture of the florals, a mixture of some sweetness, some earthy hay-like quality to it. That lingers for about 20 or so minutes. Then it goes to warm hops, and this is where I feel that beer CO2 extraction, that malt, that yeast, that bread-like quality, that beautiful baked good sensation starts to come through. And finally, it ends with this wonderful earthy vanilla. There are vanillas, there is oak moss in the base, there's also sandalwood. These more robust notes, these more earthy notes, bring down that vanilla, bring down those early sort of yeasty caramel notes down into a place that is warm, inviting, cozy, that beautiful golden light as it finally begins to settle, and there's this warm air around you in this autumnal landscape. Recently, it was Father's Day here in Australia, and we all got together. My eldest son, who has 4 kids, believe it or not, he came a little bit early, and that gave us a chance to play with the grandbabies. Now, one thing that happens as soon as my grandchildren come into the house, they know the drill, and it's a bit of a tradition. They'll walk in with arm up, and they know that Abuelo is going to spray a perfume on them. I've sprayed one fragrance on my granddaughter, Impadia, gorgeous, just boss girl fragrance. And on my oldest grandson, I sprayed Harvest Mouse. We went outside and we played soccer. We had a little bit of fun together and all the rest of it. The kids were smelling amazing as we were running around. Later that evening, my second oldest son arrived. And now think of a puppy who has been in the house all day long. Finally, the doors open, out it goes, running around in the field, full of excitement. That's my 27-year-old son as he walks in and starts to play with his nieces and nephews. Now, the first thing he did, because he also knows the drill, is smell everybody. And so he went up to the youngest, gave him a smell and was like, nope, you need a nappy change, but you don't have any perfume on. He then went to my granddaughter and he's like, that smells nice, but I'm smelling something that I really love. And finally he landed on my eldest grandson. And in smelling him, Harvest Mouse, his eyes lit up. He looked at me and said, Da, what is this fragrance? I need to spray this straight away. This is a boy who loves vanilla fragrances. For him, vanilla is the ultimate in seduction, in alluring, in sensuality. And this fragrance here pinged quickly for him. This is a gorgeous vanilla, soft gourmand fragrance. It does have all those earthy elements from the herbals and the hay and that yeast. So it never goes into a deep gourmand place, but it has this beautiful, warm vanilla touch to the fragrance. I get a comfortable 9 hours, and my little grandson, who was running around and sweating and all the rest of it, he'd been now wearing it for at least 2 hours, and it was still very present. He was deep now in that vanilla, earthy place, and his sillage, when I find the same for me, is in that very confident moderate. It starts off there. As the fragrance moves through, probably 5 or 6 hours, it does come into a moderate, but never goes into a body or close to you. In fact, I wake up in the morning and Harvest Mouse is still around me, this cozy, wheat spun vanilla fragrance. One that is very different to the other zoologists, where they tend to be a little bit more on that animalic, a lot more statement maker. Here, this is soft, this is warm, this is alluring, and this is absolutely divine. What are your thoughts on Harvest Mouse? I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to know any other zoologists that you would recommend that I should go out and buy. We finally have zoologists in Australia, and I'm doubling down on all things with these guys. Thanks, everyone.